It's the Brad and John Show.
It is the Brad and John Show. Today's date is... What's today's date, John?
Today is 7/22/25.
7/22/25. Okay, there we go. Okay, John, did I tell you what happened to me the other night?
Can you be a little more vague?
Well, a friend of mine, I've been having some issues lately. And, some mental issues, some physical issues. You know about one of my situations, the reason I wasn't here last Thursday,
Right.
But that's a whole nother story. Okay. And friend of mine decided he was going to take me out and try to cheer me up a little bit. And we're at a restaurant, and he says, Brad, that woman across the room, she's giving you the eye.
Ooh, did she have a cute little dress from Oz on?
And I go, get out of here. And he goes, no, that woman over across the room is giving you the eye. And I go, no, man, you're imagining that. You go, no, take a look. So I look over, and this lady's like looking at me, and she keeps looking at me. And he says, you know what you need to do? You need to go over there and introduce yourself.
Oh, that's bold, Brad.
So I walked across the room, and I said to her, do you know who I am? And she said,
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
I'm sorry, John. I can't resist that one. To me, that.
And then you huffed and you puffed, and you blew her back to Oz, right?
Yes. Okay. There's an article that one of my Facebook friends has put up, which I found fascinating because I have to admit that I am in this thing. This is out of the San Bruno, California paper. I can't remember what paper this is.
Hey, we don't talk about San Bruno. No.
The channel we're all watching is YouTube. Now, we had this situation with the meltdown with Stephen Colbert getting his show canceled. And remember when I thought it was interesting because I purposely threw that out to you yesterday when I said, hey, John, how many people do you think are on the staff of the Stephen Colbert, the late night show? And you said,
and
what?
I guess like 30 people.
Yes. And the answer was 200. Okay. The interesting part of this is that what you see on YouTube is I don't want to say imagining, that's probably a corporate term, but it's a redoing of the way things are perceived by us. We were taught through the years in television that, like, for example, if you watch The View, there has to be a nice set. And even to the point where if you watch TV, remember what, and if you talk to somebody who's been in the TV business, like the Mark Coxes of the world, who know the TV business inside and out, they will tell you how much money the TV stations spend on research. They have what they call a Q factor. There was a big company up in Iowa. I don't know if they're still big, but they would say that send their anchors up there as like the school to learn how to be the better anchor, and everybody looked and sounded the same, and they spent all this money on sets and all expensive cameras and, very slick pan shots and zoom shots and stuff like that. And then along comes YouTube. And then everybody's got a phone in their pocket or a still picture camera and a video camera in their pocket that they can grab at any point in time and shoot now, with most phones, 4K video, which is like just incredible quality, okay? And the point being that, and I've talked about this, and every time I do this, John makes fun of me. If you take Cletus McFarland is a guy that I found out from my son. Interesting guy, very likable kind of guy, great big tall guys like 6'6", 6'7". Story is he was going to school, he's going to law school at one of the universities it was University of Florida, Sarasota, something like that, some Florida law school. And on the weekends, he had a friend of his that ran this company where they would go to drag strips and dirt tracks, and they would shoot videos of these drag strip action and dirt track and oval track action, and then edit up the videos and put them on YouTube. And one day, when he was on one of these shoots, somebody turned the camera on him and say, hey, what do you think about this? And he put on this goofy accent, and he says, well, my name's Cletus McFarland. And they put the video up, and the next morning he woke up and it had 1 million views. The Cletus McFarland, his real name is like Garrett Johnson or something like that. The Cletus McFarland thing was born, okay? I mentioned the fact that he is now being courted by NASCAR because the NASCAR official YouTube channel has like 1.2 million subscribers. Cletus McFarland has 4.6 million subscribers, okay? So the idea being that everything has changed. And the big guys who are spending huge amounts of money, and the shows that have 200 staff members are now being outdone by the Gutfeld shows of the world, which are somewhat low tech. If you watch the Gutfeld show, I mean, you've seen it before, haven't you, John?
No.
You've never seen it before?
No.
Essentially what it is the set is, it's not very fancy. All it is there's got a video monitor behind Gutfeld, which they put some of the, they use it to, highlight some of the stories. But he's sitting in the middle, and there's two people to his left and two people to his right. And some of the guests vary from show to show. And all he does is just talk about topical things, sort of like what you and I talk about. And then they get the read on these four people. And I read somewhere the other day, I don't know if it's true or not, where they talk about this, that the Stephen Colbert show had 200 staff members. Gutfeld has like 6. They have a couple writers and a producer and stuff like that. Okay, the idea being that the days of big corporate media are really being challenged. I mean to the point more than ever, because of the fact that and I'm a perfect example. Where I live, I don't have a TV. I do not have a TV anymore. Do not have a TV. And can I tell you something that recently that I've not talked about on the air before?
Yeah, please do.
Last month, I splurged and I spent $69 on Amazon. And you know what I bought, John?
What'd you buy? Did you buy a Amazon Fire Stick or something?
I bought a portable DVD player, okay? I was expecting for $69 to be a piece of junk, and I was expecting it to be small. This big package arrives, and it was heavy, and I thought to myself, is this my DVD player? And I opened it up, and the thing is amazing. So what I've also been doing is, you're going to laugh at me when I tell you this, there's a couple Wally Worlds that still have bargain bins for DVDs. And I can tell you, the one in St. Peter's, I can tell you where it's at. I can tell you the Wally World on Bridgeton. I can tell you where the one is in Chesterfield, near in your neighborhood. And I go in those stores from time to time strictly to go through the $5 DVD bin. And I'm telling you, I come out with titles that I think to myself, I can't believe I just spent $5 for this DVD. So my thing now is, and I have my good set of studio headphones, I plug my studio headphones into my DVD player, and I watch DVDs. And it's crazy because of the fact I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't have a expensive home theater. You know, that was the big thing for a while, but hell, your home theater, you got to spend at least $50,000 in your home theater. I don't have a Bang & Olufsen home theater system. I don't have a Sony fancy schmancy, a video projector or a 108-inch TV. I got a $69 DVD player with $5, they're $8 headphones that I bought off Amazon, and $5 DVDs that I bought at Wally World. And then my other viewing is essentially YouTube. So I know you're going to make fun of me because I'm an old guy, but it's to the point where it's like, there was a time when I used to watch the Johnny Carson show. And there was a time, the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. I used to watch those kind of things. There was a time I watched Channel 5 News. There was a time, and interestingly enough, I used to be on the Channel 2 and the Channel 4 News when I was doing my old traffic days. Things have really changed. And I think the problem we have is that when you see Chuck Schumer, who wants I don't know if you saw this or not, Chuck Schumer wants a congressional investigation of why they canceled the Stephen Colbert show. Now, why would that be, John? Why would that be?
Why would they cancel it, or why does he want an investigation?
Why does Chuck Schumer? Because
there has to be a conspiracy. Maybe the Trump administration. I heard that sometimes presidential administrations lean on tech companies for censorship and to oppress ideas. Maybe the Trump administration has leaned on a major network to get them canceled because they don't like the narrative, Brad.
Well, the interesting part of this is that what I've sort of found out about this is, and the whole thing with YouTube, and especially with YouTube, is that it's destroyed the corporate hierarchy. It's destroyed the system of how you become a star on TV, on, a recording star. Remember, do you know the story of Justin Bieber? Do you know how Justin Bieber was discovered?
Remind me, Brad. I know you've discussed it on the show before, but I don't remember.
I think it was because Justin Bieber's Canadian guy, and who's the Canadian guy, the dude who's the rapper kind of guy? He's from Canada? You know what I'm talking about?
Drake.
Yeah, Drake. Okay.
Yeah, Drake. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Drake saw Justin Bieber on a YouTube video. Somebody shot a YouTube video of Justin Bieber busking. You know what busking is?
Yeah, you explained that on the show too. You stand on the street corner and you play songs and
Right.
you hope people give you a little cash.
Right. In the old days, the way it worked, and I can tell you this from being in the radio business, you had the record labels and they had what they call A&R guys. And the A&R stood for
Artist and repertoire, right?
Artist and repertoire, okay? And these guys' job was primarily to go to concerts. They're going to bars and they're going to various places, and they see people, perform. Wow, this guy's got some talent. Wow, this gal's really good. And they would go talk to them. Hey, would you like to be interested in a contract? Blah 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 blah. Essentially, that's dead. And to the point where then you have American Idol show, which surfaced, and then you have like probably the very first season, the most famous graduate of American Idol is Kelly Clarkson, who's just gone on to incredible things. The point I'm trying to make is, maybe I'm being circuitous. Is that the term,
Yeah,
John?
circuitous. Yeah, we do that occasionally on the show, Brad.
Is the old days are gone, and the new ways are here to stay. And the Star Machine that used to be the Hollywood studios, the recording studios, the Columbia Records, the Epic Records, the Capitol Records, with the producers who were sexual deviants, who I'm talking about there, the guy who's I think he died in jail. You know what I'm talking about?
What guy is that, Brad?
The Wall of Sound. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, the Spectre, Phil Spector.
Yes, Phil Spector. And, who ultimately, murdered his girlfriend. I think that's why he finally got thrown in jail, because they were having sex play with a gun, bizarre stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's how he ended up in jail. Okay, those days are gone. And I say good, because of the fact that anybody now with their phone, which, you can some of the deals I hear on various radio stations. Hey, come in today and we'll give you a new Android. It's worth $600. Just sign on the dotted line. You get an Android. And people are producing incredible video. I mean, and to the point where it's interesting, because I heard someone being discussed yesterday on another talk show talking about what I talked about before, the body cam situation. Remember this?
And you know what? What did people think was going to happen with body cams, and what actually happened, Brad?
They thought that, and this person was talking about it from a civil rights perspective, that they was going to show that the cops are just, racial, and they're just beating poor black people over the head, and they're being terrible to people, and they're being jerkazoids, and there still are some of those videos out there, but 95% of the videos that come off of body cams are people, the criminals, showing how terrible they are, how the cops try to de-escalate situations, how they try to stop things from going sideways. They try to be kind to people. They try to be nice to people. And then when the guy pulls out a gun and tries to kill the cops, then you realize, the cops have a really tough job, and to the point where it's turnabout is the fact that the police unions were not real wild about body cameras. Now the police unions are going, hey, every cop needs a body camera. Matter of fact, we need two. We need one front and back on the police officer. We need one in the squad car that's shooting front, sideways, backwards, upside down. We need a drone that's hovering over the police car, because we really can show you the real life of a police officer, and it ain't fun. You know what I'm saying, John?
And the best thing is the cottage industry and YouTube of body cam video channels where you can go, and they're addictive, Brad. They're almost like bait car videos where you can go and the headline says, entitled Karen gets her comeuppance,
right.
or angry, spoiled drunk kid slaps cop, ends badly.
Okay, I have a friend of mine who was on Facebook complaining about the fact that he's trying to buy a condo, and he's got a problem because the HOA association has some issues or something like that. I can't remember the exact thing. And I put a comment on there. I go, Scott, real men don't live in condos. And by the way, haven't you ever watched YouTube and see the HOA Karen videos? You don't want to live anywhere where there's an HOA. Right, John?
They're so good. They're over the top. Brad, I think we should close with a quote about the A&R industry. And that is this was a harbinger of truth The Wu-Tang Clan from 1993, they had a song called Protect Your Neck. It was my favorite song on that album, even better than Cream and even better than Method Man. And The Genius had a line that went like this. First of all, who's your A&R? A mountain climber who plays an electric guitar? But he don't know the meaning of dope when he's looking for a suit and tie rap that's cleaner than a bar of soap. And I'm the dirtiest thing in sight. Matter of fact, bring out your girls and let's have a mud fight. Wu-Tang was on top of it, Brad. A&Rs were out of touch in 1993, and they're irrelevant today.
John, I want to footnote one thing. You didn't pull that up on your phone. You said that off at the top of your head, correct?
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite. It's track 10 from the Wu-Tang album, yeah. Matter of fact, bring out your girls and let's have a mud fight. Boom, boom, boom. You best to check your neck. You best to check your neck. You best to check your neck.
Just when you thought John Combest was a straight-laced Republican dude, he starts quoting Wu-Tang. What was the name of the group again?
It's the Wu-Tang-Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I got to go up to Magic Market and smoke a Philly.
Bye, John.
See you tomorrow.